Hey guys, Von Fry here, back with another Netflix commentary. This is for Carrie, keeping in with the October every movie has to be horror theme over on the YouTubes. If you want to enjoy this commentary while watching Carrie, go ahead, queue up Netflix. The Carrie, you'll see there, this is the 1976 original. None of this remake stuff, none of the rage, none of that. Okay, queue up to 0000 and hit play now. You'll see rated R for adult stuff. Why don't they say nudity? Adult content, adult language, and violence. We got the, I don't remember the name of the lion, but MGM. And here we are with United Artists. Oh, a very unusual production logo we'll see right there. This is from director Brian De Palma. Not his first movie, probably the first to really make it big on the scene. This was a hit movie, first based on the first novel by Stephen King, who would go on to, I would say, maybe steer the direction of horror. Yeah, as far as novels and film go, though I don't really understand where he fell off. It was sort of a mid 70s, late 70s thing. The Shining. He had hits, and then all of a sudden it was like the 90s roll around and everything has to be made for TV miniseries. And now it's like, hey, remember that miniseries? We're making it into a movie. This a very unusual start in horror film. Not that you have it unusual that you have girls in the shower, but it's who you get to be the girls in the shower as far as the characters go. Because it is protagonist, central figures. Within 2 minutes, they're playing volleyball. Now they're hitting the showers, and you are seeing boobs, bush. I mean, it's just Billy Bob's drive-through totals galore over here, and ultra rare that you have the lead actress. Maybe you could say she's the bad guy, so maybe it's credit for that. But to have the lead in your horror movie getting naked, very unusual. There's Nancy Allen, RoboCop's future partner right there. We're staring at her bush, and yep, that's definitely happening right now. Lingering shots here, making sure you get to see everything. I believe it was shortly thereafter this that Brian De Palma went on to marry Nancy Allen, and then he moves on to Gail Ann Hurd after she leaves uh, James Cameron, and it was probably around the time of Terminator 2. Uh, Awkward timing as that goes. I think it's a Terminator 2 where he marries. He kind of had a thing where it was like bouncing to the star of his next movie or a girl in his next movie, and then that somehow didn't continue with Avatar. He did not shack up with Zoe Saldana. And here we are. We've got Sissy Spacek in the shower. Is this introducing Sissy Spacek? Definitely put her on the map, anyways. So I don't know why we really needed the first scene of her screwing up the volleyball. Nancy Allen told her to like eat shit. Oh, I don't know. Now we have her in the shower, and then they go and be mean to her. So it seems a little weird that we're setting up that they don't like her, and then continuing with that so much it kind of gets redundant. Peaceful shower time, freckles, white skin, somber music. Even though the imagery mostly had girls like whipping each other with towels, it's a bit odd. And then, okay, come on, where does it start here? Oh, we are really lingering here. Oh, hey, man, we got a transfer issue there. This blue light line coming in, is that what that is? Oh no, my anus is bleeding. For the love of God and all that is holy, my anus is bleeding. You guys like your obscure references, don't you? Huh? What's this? Huh? Now, maybe if she didn't completely freak out, she wouldn't have gotten the same kind of reaction out of everybody. Because usually if something embarrassing happens to you, right, you want to kind of keep it a secret. Like, look, no one else noticed. Maybe you don't need to be... Oh, it says they're whimpering in brackets. Help me, help me. Oh, and then they pelt her with tampons? Have a Tampax. PJ Souls will have that hat on the entire movie. She is ride or die with that trucker cap. Okay, well, it's not a trucker cap, it's baseball cap. What does it even say on it? It looks like one side of it's chewed out. Like, how long has this been in her life? Look, even the girl that looks like she would be the nerdy one that wouldn't be in the clique is making fun of Carrie. See the guy with the glasses? Okay, now this is a sympathetic character here. We've got the teacher. Okay, also we see Amy Irving kind of gets in on this too. She's got a period. Who's got a period? Carrie, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, well, why are you hassling her so much? Like, I thought you were beyond this. You're not supposed to be one of those girls. Why are you mistreating her too? Oh, come on. Oh, damn, slapped her. Relax. You can't slap a kid now. Like, oh, geez. Stand up and take care of yourself. Come on, do it. The first instance of the telekinesis. PJ Souls. I recently watched Stripes. And I haven't posted anything about that. In part because October rolled around and everybody gets pissed if you talk about anything but horror movies in October. So I'm saving that, I guess. And PJ Souls don't look so hot in Stripes. Stripes is like 1981. And the hot chick in Stripes is Sean Young, right? Like, by far. And she's the one that gets pawned off to the sidekick. If you are hearing me drink something, I went to Burger King and I had the Pretzel King, the Bacon Pretzel King. I asked for no mayonnaise, no mustard, because I figured, why do they have to put mayonnaise on everything? I think they put mayonnaise on everything so that they can then tell you to have it your way, because you're going to ask to have the mayonnaise removed. And I saw at their Coca-Cola mixed drink, whatever machine, that they have Surge. And I was like, shit, I'm getting me Surge. Look at this shot there. You see a double focus. Typically you'll see that with a matte line. It's not an effect pulled off in camera. So if you have this green wall everywhere, then it's easier to obscure that. Principals put up a period of, oh my God, well, we can send her home. Is that the solution in schools? Well, we're going to send somebody home. Carrie White, you go home, whatever. That straw is going to make noise, isn't it? Shit. And yes, it's a plastic straw. I'm not one of those freaking weirdos. Alright, she's looking at the smoke, huh? There's not really engaged with people. Oh, look at the ashtray shake. It's powers. She's not Magneto. It doesn't have to be metal. Take her to the infirmary. Does anyone say that? Take her to see the nurse. That's what we would say. Right, call you a cab. I'm sure we can walk home. Dismiss for gym for a week. Just study hall instead. Oh, okay. I'm really confused about study hall because sometimes it seems like study hall is mentioned like it's a punishment. Detention, study hall. Are they synonymous? This film has quite that hazy look to it. You can see in this shot here, it's almost a bit of a cheese filter cloth over the camera look. And many 70s films, oh, right there, you can see the way the light bounces on the right. Creepy Carrie, crash. Oh, they're coming hard and fast with the telekinesis stuff. Like it, from the start, aren't they? It's not slowly developing your powers. It's, oh, look, I did that, now I did this, and directing it at this kid. Oh, that looks like a decent house. Man, look at the antenna on that TV. You gone and put the TV on the coffee table? Who does that? Christ's sake, that is the most 70s house. Look at that carpet. Some of your daughter Sue is fine. Something. I've seen this movie maybe 1.5-ish times, like parts on TV. Watched it once, a year or two ago on Netflix. It's the first time seeing it in a while. We have the overly concerned gospel preaching Mrs. White. The teenager's path of salvation. Some. I'm here to make sure your daughter learns about God. These are godless times. I'll drink to that. Which one's Sue? Let's see. Reading through. Just you need to find a passage to give her. Also, Sue's Amy Irving. Oh yeah, yeah. You may want to just hide in your room and pretend you're not here, because this lady's being bothersome. Was she? I can't remember here. It's not like she's the church leader. You say pray, but you look like you're gonna slap the shit out of her. I guess after this movie, Steven Spielberg was like, I've got to tap the chick that survived this movie. For sale. A little more dilapidated than the last residence we saw. You know, if you have the uncool house, the kids will make fun of you. You know it's going to happen. Why, yes, that would be a telephone that's ringing. You can pick it up. I keep my daughter in the attic so she stays a good girl, away from the boys. Are the kids in this movie meaner than kids today? Like, it seems to go one way or the other, where all the kids are so whipped into fear of, I don't know, misgendering somebody that they can't talk about anything, or you have the super aggressive jock click thing going. You can never really tell. Because these kids are quite devious. I didn't tell you about them periods, nah. In 70 horror, there were um, quite a few films where it was like uh, not necessarily an extension of The Exorcist, but it The Exorcist kind of started this subgenre thing where it was horror derived from the gospel or something to do with the church. Thinking also of The Omen, things where it's uh, a figure within Christianity involved, and not necessarily just the devil. But here we have the overly religious gal in our horror. I think bucking that trend by by the end of the 70s, you have Halloween, which PJ Souls is also in that. But you don't have anything with Michael Myers being overly religious or anybody trying to chant him away or any of that sort of stuff, right? Yeah, we're definitely not liking Mrs. White, right? Oh no, the closet. What are we going to do? Yeah. Worst robot chicken figure ever. Thinking along into the 80s. Were there any horror franchises started in the 80s that had a religious theme to them? I mean, shit, Hellraiser. It doesn't even feel like it has much to do with religion at all, really. And Nightmare on Elm Street, that's a negative. Friday the 13th, no. Yeah, the religious horror thing was just sort of confined to a specific time, like mid 70s. Ooh, Mirror's acting up. Does Mrs. White know about her power? You ain't trying to hurt yourself now again, are you? That's not a trend for years to come. Does she just not have much lights in the attic? Okay, guys, Sissy Spacek, was she ever hot? Leave your comments below. She put the mirror back to some capacity there. Do kids write on paper and pencil today? Are your desks old like this? I mean, I never felt like I had new desks at any stage of school. Even when I went to a brand new school, they couldn't get new stuff for it. Unattentive kids, throwing things around, could care less, right? I don't think teachers really lose their shit over poetry so much these days. I could be mistaken. Oh, I don't see much of the matte line there. It is a difficult shot to set up. I think it was. I think they did that in camera for Citizen Kane. You suck. Oh, kids were saying suck in the mid 70s like that. Carrie White eats shit. Now, did Nancy Allen write that on the wall? That seems to be her slogan, or is that what everybody says of her? Was there actual visual evidence of this? Accounts? You got to feel bad for the gym teacher because she seems to take interest in helping Carrie out, try to get her ingratiated with the rest of the kids, get her into the in crowd, right? It didn't work out so well for her. And that's why you should mind your own business. Norma. You ever met a Norma? And you know you're getting chewed out when the gym teacher's saying you did something shitty. I don't think I much had teachers talk like that when I was in high school. College, another story. Talking about the upcoming dance. What, you really want to brag to the gym teacher who's taking you to the dance here? I would say that Amy Irving's looking like the cute one of the group. Now, some of you, part of why I'm doing the commentary on this film is because I didn't care for the Fury, the follow up to this, not necessarily related, but starring Amy Irving. She has powers. Some other guy has powers. Brian De Palma directed. And it's not a good movie. It has a shitload of problems with it. And everybody wants to jump on my ass for it, for just pointing the shit out. I didn't know the film even had fans, to be frank with you. A week of detention. What, gym class detention? Oh, so we were mean to that girl, and you're going to punish us for it? We're going to be even meaner. And that's the way kids think. And how does the detention thing work? Like, if. Can you keep kids after school nowadays? They got jobs, there's other responsibility. Shit, in some cases, someone probably have to pick up younger siblings, take them home, right? Okay, PJ Souls has a cap with pins and a cloud on the side and a rainbow. She in overalls and stuff. She looks like she's in a kids show on PBS. By the way, I have something to say about PBS. You're selling off Sesame Street, like pawning it off, leasing it out. Like Sony with Spider-Man, you're selling them over to HBO. Oh, hey, HBO, all right, you gave us money to make some more. It's going to be on HBO at first, and then eventually it'll come to PBS. That is an atrocity. Trump should have stepped in. Even though most of the people over at PBS probably hate him, Sesame Street, Grover damn sure hates him. You know, it just would have been kind of funny to be the guy who saves Sesame Street from ending up with, all the massive nudity it's going to end up having to have over on HBO. I mean, shit, Big Bird's been all about free the nipple and, close 3 exhibitionist stuff. But, I mean, once they start bringing in the adults to not wear pants either, I just don't even know if they're going to be able to get it up on PBS. Shit, we have detoured away from Carrie, have we not? She's not. Well, we get the idea. They're in detention. They're doing some push-ups. Some of those are better form push-ups than I've seen girls do in a long time. The old card catalog. When was the last time you guys used one? Do you know what that is? Have you seen a card catalog? Last time I was in high school, there was still a card catalog. No one used it, but it was a thing that was there. How does that work? Like, do you order books and they come with a card to put in the card catalog? Or do you have to make your own? Here's another one of these shots. You can kind of see where there's a blur between the two. See the way how that's kind of composited together there? There's a blur crease in the middle. Ooh, standing up to the teacher. It's going down. Damn them short shorts. Slap. Jeez. Now that was a hard slap. You'll get canned for this. There are states, or rather there were, where kids could get beat. They had corporal punishment rules in school. I remember when I lived in Oklahoma, the teachers bragged that it was allowed. And the threat that they could hit you with stuff generally kept people from doing anything crazy. But there was one guy who, he was as crazy as Martin Riggs. Looked a bit like him too. He did something in the hallway one day, and the counselor came and talked to him, and he pissed the counselor off so much he threw a chair against the wall, and that was the last we ever saw her. Oh, are we reading about telekinesis here, huh? I've got these powers. They came with the period. Kind of like X-Men. The X-Men, it's like some kind of weird maturity thing. It begets powers. Everybody gets their powers as an X-Men when they're a teenager. There's never a story of like the old guy. He reached 70 and realized he had a power, right? Yeah, we got to hang out with the guy on the running team, eh? I like the way that shot's framed. They came to their starting grid. It looks like, yep. Some of the styles here are not necessarily out of fashion, I will say. The hair, sure. Oh, there he is. Saturday Night Fever himself, John Travolta. I think this was his first film. The Boy in the Bubble, was that a made-for-TV thing? This came just a little before Grease and then Saturday Night Fever. I think Saturday Night Fever after Grease. Something inside. You know, I never had anybody pull up alongside me and have a conversation in a car. Heat wave. All right. Oh, what does Nancy Allen look like now? Because John Travolta, you can still recognize. Heavier, sure. Balder, certainly. Face-wise, kept it together, I guess. Retained the look. I think he looked older than he is, and then for a period of time was able to stick with that. Really, why are the cops shining a light in the car, huh? Looking for those beers? Getting slapped again, jeez. She's gonna have to call Murphy on you. Bit foreshadowing here. Watch where you're driving. Ooh, that looks like an illegal turn to me. But I don't know 70s, what, national highway safety regulations. That I think that TV's put in post right there. Could be mistaken. It looks a little bit different. But her hair, would that be a blue screen effect at that time? Optical printer stuff? I'm not seeing like a thick line around her hair. I'm going to have a boy come over and actually study while he watches Cowboys and Indians. John Travolta long hair movies. There's this, Pulp Fiction, I think Michael. That's really all I can think of. These two would also be in Blowout uh, shortly after this. Also directed by Brian De Palma. You're so ignorant, but that's what you like about me. We're spending a lot of time establishing these characters who are not Carrie White, who are not the central figure. We're building up some kind of repertoire with them, and I don't think that movies do that so much these days. When now I haven't seen the remake, but I would assume that if a movie like this was made today, and this hadn't been a thing before, we would have stuck with Carrie so long, we would have gotten sick of that bitch. I want you to do something for me. What? I don't think it's going to be something that he necessarily wanted to do. Oh, Billy, 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 Billy. Was he doing Welcome Back, Kotter at this point? I think so. I want you to do me a favor. Yeah, I'm going down here, but here's the thing. I hate Carrie White so much. I'm going to soften you up, and then we're going to have a scheme to get even with her because of that detention. Well, excuse me. I'm going to put on some Burt's Bees lip balm, not sponsored. Now, here's the curious thing. We have Amy Irving basically has her boyfriend go and ask out Carrie. And it seems like he's genuine about it. I could be wrong, but it seems like... And it's really hard to say how this goes down. If maybe he wasn't at first, has a change of heart, actually likes her, and then is not in on the total betrayal, the end game scenario. I think it's if I recall correctly, it's a little left open about how much he knew and when he knew it. Hey, Carrie, what's the matter? My guess is Mom. I got invited to the prom. Whoa, congratulations. That's fantastic. Tommy Ross. Oh, man, I'm going to feel stupid if the guy's known for stuff. I don't recognize him. They're just trying to trick me again. What was the other trick? How often does this happen? Oh man, teacher of the year over here, slapping kids around, giving them detention. Basically trying to prevent the 70s version of the school shooting, right? Oh, look at your eyes. Okay. Look, she going above and beyond the Call of Duty here. Let's get you glammed up. Yeah, just give your hair little curls. Yeah, try to look like me. Yes. But beyond, above and beyond. Now she is going out there, being like, "Oh, are you trying to set up Carrie White? You trying to prank her? Because I will come down on you. I will end you." Oh, what are they planning? The the poor gym teacher, man. Miss Collins, eh? Oh, for you to be asking her out, it's gotta be a prank. I know my school. I don't honestly understand why schools have dances. It's not an educational experience, right? How do they justify let's have a dance? When did school dances even begin? I mean, they had to be going on in the 50s because it happens in all these 50s teen movies, right? Word to you guys, I never went to a single school dance. I was just like, screw that shit. I'm not putting up with that. No. First of all, I don't dance. I want to just stand around and talk to people I've already been talking to most of the year anyways, so forget it. Oh, do we dare go up to Mrs. White's house? With that hair? Oh, she will be so put off. Knock at your own risk. So this is where you live, huh? No, you do not want to come in here. We have so many crucifixes. And though usually when you want to do one of these commentaries, you want to look at something very effects heavy, and most of your effects in this film are going to be late in the movie. But there's a lot of backstory behind effects stuff. And so effects lend themselves well to a commentary track. We haven't seen a lot of effects so far, and I'm not sure entirely how a lot of it was done. Hey, you can knock a light out with a BB. You won't see the BB coming so much, right? Like things like that can be done. The ashtray, there's ways to do it. I don't know specifically. Same with the mirror. The kid falling down. I think we just have a stunt kid. But if we think about it, if this stuff, is done today, things would be a little bit different, right? Well, look, we don't know what the kids are doing here, and I think that maybe this scene detours from the impact of what happens in the finale. Like they're evidently going to some kind of, I don't know, slaughterhouse or pig. Is it something different? Involves pigs? Look at the mural on this place. It's immense. Recently, my city, Wichita, got a new title, keeper of the largest mural in the world made by one person. And yeah, it's bigger than that mural, but okay, so the favor this gal had was I'm going to give you the blowy and you're going to go get a pig for us, huh? What are we going to do with it? Sledgehammer. Do do do. Dang, she is sadistic. Do it. Do it. Can we not turn lights on in this house, you freaking weirdo? Did you drive your husband away with all this antics? Speaking of lighting, if you've seen like the Picard Star Trek, what do they call it? Is it just Star Trek Picard trailer? And they have like the bridge of the ship and all this stuff. If you think about this, the Star Trek Enterprise as depicted in the original series and TNG, that is how a ship would look in the future in terms of lighting. Incredibly evenly lit. There is no way people are building giant interplanetary space travel ships that serve as a voyage of discovery for science and transporting diplomats, civilians, all this stuff with submarine Cold War lighting. It's not about just how cool can we make it look. It's for practical purposes, let's have lights on. We want to not, bump into each other or have somebody hiding in the shadows. It can be quite a challenge in the 70s to get a movie to look good dimly lit without becoming overtly grainy. Oh, just kicked in that little music. Closing all the doors. She doesn't even have to look at him. She does. I like how she doesn't gesture around with her hands like some of the telekinesis stuff you'll see. It's like I have to move my hand around. The Jedi seem to have started that. Prior to Star Wars, people thought stuff and it happened, and that was the telekinesis power. And then afterwards, it's like I can only close the windows if I do stuff with my hands. Yeah. So Mama here doesn't seem that surprised by the telekinesis stuff. Oh, it's the devil. And the devil is in you. Yeah, that's the explanation. And for all I can tell, she might be right. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Carrie ends up killing a shitload of kids at the school. So you could say she was bad and deserved to be ostracized, or the ostracizing pushed her over the edge. Or did the kids know she was going to end up doing this? And that was their way of warning everybody, right? I think it's kind of spoils the ending some to show that they're loading this bucket up with the blood. Letting us in on the secret here. It might be stronger to make that a surprise, right? To have the audience in on this and thinking, put the audience in the same position as Carrie, thinking that they're turning good, that they're going to do something nice for her. That could make for a bigger shock. Then we'd feel the way Carrie does. But we know there's a setup. So I think in some ways that diminishes the surprise. If you agree or disagree, comment below. Yeah, smash that like button. I might just actually start turning the like button. The viewers can view ratings of the video stuff on for something like the kid sliding down the pole there. that guardrail. Some of my commentaries have a ton of likes. The Dark Knight, well, first of all, it's like 1,000 thumbs down, but it's 700 thumbs up or something. It's like, or one way or the other. It's, yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's surprising how much likes I actually get. Because the reality is, a lot of it is people clicking on stuff, being like, hey, where's the whole movie? I thought that was going to be here. It's a black screen. PJ Souls managed to take her hat off, but it is above the hairdryer. Wow. I think they keep the decorations here grounded in reality. A lot of 80s movies, 80s and 90s movies, when they have student dances, it's like, okay, we get it. You have the abilities of a Hollywood Studios art department. The thing is that high schools don't. So yeah, cutting out some haphazard stars, wrapping them in foil, whatever, like that's kind of the way it goes, right? Yeah, I won't tell anybody, I promise. Give you a hint, something. What's going on here? I don't know if this guy really knows what's going on. Maybe he's just a good dude. And his girlfriend's like, hey, it would mean a lot to me if you kind of help this gal out. Trying on makeup for the first time. Yeah, you know, I say I'm going to put on some lip balm. And here she is putting on the lipstick. Oh yeah, you can tell it's the 70s when you have that like vibrant undershirt. Well, not undershirt, but the shirt with all the frills in a bright color, right? Oh boy. How is that tux even available in that store? It just looks like, I don't know, some onesie. Oh no, what do you think you're doing with all that cleavage? I can see your dirty pillows. Everyone will. We have to burn that dress together. It's cursed. Oh man, what an inspirational mom here. He's not coming. You're being stood up. Like, no, I can't have anyone date my daughter. They're all going to laugh at you. Something of a famous movie quote there. He's actually here. Who mows their lawn? I can't see crazy mama doing it or hiring a kid to do it. Oh, I see a Porsche 914. What was the going rate on those? Could a high school kid afford one? Didn't necessarily see it driven by high school kids. You know how it was in these sort of things. Take the dad's car out to the big dance. Can we just wait here just a minute? She really didn't do anything special with her hair. The gym teacher really wanted her to get on that little curl. I like the way the shot's composed with, again, the activity in the background. You see the people entering. No, I can't open my own door. That's for the date. The man opens the door for the lady. Yeah, yeah, sensible stuff. What is that called when you hang like the balls that are made out of the thin paper and they're collapsible? You kind of like spread them out there. The obvious celestial theme. That doofus wore that onesie looking tux. Oh my gosh. Some things you don't see in this movie, like racial tension. Sure, it was like all white girls that were in on the problem, right? Terrorizing Carrie White. But you see black guy dancing there that no one's ostracizing him, right? Yeah, you see a few black guys around here dancing away. No big deal. Yeah, you see maybe a nerdier table sitting down. Oh, okay, everybody be nice to Carrie. We got her to come to the dance. And there's PJ Souls with that cap. Oh my gosh. Made the dress herself. I think a lot of girls actually did that back in the day. Might have to ask my mom. My mom would be a teen about the time of this movie. Sue's like, okay, I'm not actually invited to the dance. I want something big's gonna happen. I want to see. So she knows. How awesome would it be if Carrie White had amazing dance moves, like broke it down, went full popping and locking. Oh, gym teacher, you are going to regret being here tonight. You look beautiful, you too. Even though I didn't really do a lot with the curls stuff you were talking about, but maybe there's a little something at the bottom of the hair. Oh, yeah, I'm so happy. It's good to see that You got Dave the captain of the basketball team. Oh wait, hold on. He was telling her story, huh? Ah, everybody's acting so normal and peaceful. But the thing is, we already know that there's something devious in the works. But, given what's the movie's postered and she covered in blood anyways, and that's got to be the selling point of the movie is you can't make the selling point the surprise, can you? So in a lot of ways, it's best to go into a movie with no knowledge at all. The trailers ruin everything. Whether you like it or not, the TV spots will do just as much damage. Have a lovely time. Yeah, they seem to be hitting it off okay. All right, I've got to look up this Tommy guy. Screw it. William Cat. Sounds familiar. I don't know. They're not having the most awkward conversation, but this is about the way one would go. She's new to talking to boys. All right, we're gonna dance. No, I can't. Come on. Do some of that witch dance, whatever stuff. Actually, I guess her mom would be totally non-dance, like the town in Footloose. What if one does not wear a tux to prom? Do they get stopped at the door? We're having a moment, just a quiet little moment. Things would be rushed. There'd be whip pan shots, breakneck cuts here and there. I'm assuming these are things that happened in the remake, which the only thing I recall so much about the remake, it's first of all, which I haven't seen. Oh, well, I saw a little bit of the Rage Carrie too. I think Amy Irving's in that, right? Doesn't it actually carry on? Carrie. Uh, her, like she is the same character, I think. At any rate, the remake of this, it's like what was it? Chloe Grace Moretz, overrated, always has been. I don't know why people keep mentioning her for stuff. Oh, she was Hit Girl. Okay, so what? She's growing up and she's not piping hot. And you reach a point where you can do the cute kid roles, and then you need to be piping hot to remain a movie star. Otherwise, you become Drew Barrymore. Here we are, just a normal little dance thing. Why'd you ask me? 'Cause I wanted to. Why do you want to? 'Cause you liked my poem. Only I didn't write it, somebody else did. It's wishy-washy on this guy. It's actually hard to say if he's genuine with Carrie or not. Could they spin any more? Are they on a lazy Susan? Oh, Amy Irving does not want to miss the fireworks. We gotta vote for the king and queen. Vote for one couple. Who decided who's on the ballot? At least they're voting for a king and queen as a couple. I hate that crap where it's like, okay, well, we have a king, we have the queen, and they don't like each other. Now they have to get up here and dance. You know, if I had went to my prom, this sort of thing probably would have went down. Only I would have had less telekinesis powers, and it would have been most disappointing. I actually do have some telekinesis abilities. I hadn't really harnessed them since like the early '90s. My little brother was had me on the ground. He was going to beat me with this stick. I think we were running through the house. I fell on the ground. He picked up the stick. You know the type of stick you jam in the back door at your house. The backyard stick, right? The sliding door. You jam the stick in there. Oh, no one can break in, right? People are looking in the backyards for the stick. They don't see the stick. They're going to break in, right? So your mom would tell you. So he's holding the stick overhead, and he's wearing these sunglasses, cheap sunglasses of mine, and he's about to hit me with this stick, and I just look at him, and then from the middle of his head, just blood gushing down his head. He's like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, just pouring down blood. And then I start yelling, "Mom, Tyler's hurt!" He just starts freaking out too. They take him to the hospital, get some stitches. Well, not the hospital, but doctor's office. Goes get some stitches, and they say that the sunglasses cut him. The cut on his head, the sunglasses were nowhere near. I'm telling you, it was telekinesis. And that's why you don't mess with Von Frey. I called in a few favors to make sure everybody votes for the couple I want. Oh, PJ, that hat. In the book, does her character wear a hat at all times? Let's see, was it the favors collecting the ballots, or did we already print some off and we're switching them? Get all of them. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Uh-huh. Yeah. We're gonna kind of throw those aside, and we got fake ballots that we're gonna put in, right? Is that what we're gonna do? Yeah. Oh, this devious asshole kids. More ballots. Oh, okay. There you go. Count them up, adults. Look at the way how that shot stays on him. Like, this is actually really well choreographed. It's sort of a thing with Brian De Palma's films to have these lingering tracking shots that display all the information, that show all the characters in that world and take you to the elements. And now here we are. We settle on the bucket of blood. to okay, so I guess they have those stars on the ground, so they know where they're going to stand. Are they certain Carrie is going to be the one under the bucket? Oh, and then we whip around some more to show them as their announced king and queen. It's really quite brilliantly planned. Just one shot right there. Study that in your film class. Yeah, and you know what? No matter what you study in film, no one cares. Because ultimately, the people who get hired to make that stuff, it's favors from a friend or being the boss's son. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how much you know, what you can do. No one cares. Okay, so you studied some stuff. Big deal. Everybody studied some stuff. It doesn't mean everybody gets to work. We've got another slow motion shot here. Everybody's so happy for Carrie. We got that peaceful music is kicked back in. Looking with anticipation. No one notices Lewis underneath the stage. Oh, Amy Irving's definitely in on it. And, oh, you have to kiss her on the mouthish kind of cheek area? That's a little weird. Oh, yeah. I, I don't know about the slow motion stuff and all this because, well, I guess it's kind of like if you knew there was a bomb. What was it? The bomb under the table. Scorsese talks about the tension is, or the suspense is knowing there's a bomb under the table, but not knowing when it's going to blow up. So we know it's a setup. We're not sure when it's going to come crashing down. Wait a minute. What's this rope? Huh? They didn't tell me this was going to happen. I thought we were just going to be nice to her. Really, I had my boyfriend ask her out to be nice to her, and I even knew the plot to get her named, to get the couple homecoming or prom king and queen. I knew that much, and I left dinner early to go watch this. Really? That's what you're telling me? Really? Gym teacher knows something is up. And no one's saying a word. That's your tension. Oh, what's going down? Now she saw her looking up, but the gym teacher is not necessarily looking up. All right, we know that you saw the rope. Now you're looking at the rope again. Okay. Oh, we got a little shadow puppet stuff going on over here, eh? Really, you're gonna try to stop him, huh? What do you think you're doing? No, no, no! Slap. So much slapping in this movie. Okay, wait, what are they confused about? She's wondering, huh? He's kind of brushing off, no big deal, or does he know what's happening? It's Amy Irving gets saved here because she gets kicked out of the dance before the bloody mess. Shuts the door, and that'll be the last time we open that. Smackaroo. If only he was on the other side. He seems surprised, or is he putting that on? Oh my god, we did it! PJ Soul's the first with the laughter. Some of these other kids, they're not really as amused. I guess I don't really understand why Amy Irving was kicked out of the prom. Hey, you're not supposed to be here. You don't have a date. Now Bucket hits him. Some laughter. He gets knocked out. You don't hear the laughter, though, and maybe that makes it more powerful. We're still in that slow motion dreamlike world. The movie's been in slow motion for some time now, and now here it is. Everything comes back. Almost delusional type way this is going down. I don't think that she's seeing the reality here. I don't think that the gym teacher is actually laughing at her as she's envisioning this. These two manage to escape. Oh, where do you think you guys are going, huh? Split screen. Just as Travolta and Carrie Allen have left, the door shuts. And this is really weird because not a lot of movies tried to do this afterwards with the split screen horror visuals. We can't get out. Help. Is it really worth screaming about? Hey, okay, so the door's kind of stuck. No big whoop. Not yet. Now, when a fire starts, maybe you can start screaming. Turning on the fire hose. This would be very difficult to do with split screen because you'd have to set up the camera. At that time, we're looking at a lot of extra work to redo stuff, get different angles. Would a bucket really knock this guy out? It's not like the bucket was full of stuff. It wasn't full of lead. And then fire hoses, man, they're pretty powerful, but do they sit up like a snake like that? Like a cobra? I don't know. Oh, the PJ Souls just got hit with so much water, she's knocked out. Oh, everybody's... The death toll is starting here. There's shock. Big electricity issues. Mrs. Collins. Is it Miss Collins or Mrs. Collins? Slam. Ooh. Yeah, Officer Lewis, you should probably be booking it back to headquarters. Now the flames coming. Yeah, it's looking pretty badass. Students screaming in brackets. Do you think someone would try to attack her? Be like, hey, maybe if we stop her, it'll stop the spreading of all the telekinesis powers, eh? Would they bother with flames? Look at the flames there. There's something with the frame rate looks odd. As we're trying to do this like slow motion like. So I guess the idea here is that everybody burned down in there, the date included. Fire trucks on the scene, and these guys just so happen to take the wrong way home. We're gonna get revenge, huh? We're gonna try to run her down. Is that the idea? And then it's like a Hot Wheels car, isn't it? Like the rollover thing. You can see the in post changed the angle. You can see the way how the camera goes from widescreen to not real quick as it rolls inside. The assumption being that they died, right? All right, so we have walked home. I think she has to settle the score yet with Mom, doesn't she? Though Mom was kind of right. Uh, she said, "Oh, he's not going to come. You're being stood up." Well, you were set up a bit different, but still, they are going to laugh at you, and they did. Though I don't think that many actually laughed at her. She had a sort of vision of them laughing at her that sent her over the edge. But prior to that, kaleidoscope view, we didn't see that many people laughing. Oh, yes, Mom brought out the good candles. We don't need that Thomas Edison. I wonder if they actually used pig's blood on her. Now, this would be prior to PETA causing a huge mess. Humane Society, possibility, issues with things. I think we could look and see the credits, no animals harmed making this film, but if you didn't kill the pig yourself on the production crew and it was available, maybe they weren't harmed in the making, right? Because craft services was serving meat up, right? Or am I wrong? Do you think they have like all vegan craft services now on sets? You don't want to trigger anybody? That nonsense. Look how slow we are to go through this house to get to the stairs. Nowadays, we have to do this fast. Just cut to, she's home. Still, we are going with the tension here. I think she ends up cleaning off a bit. We might even get one more boob shot. What are the police going to get you on, right? Telekinesis isn't a crime yet. Sobbing. All right, well, after a day of burning down the school, I guess, yeah, it's time to turn in for the night. Not really sure what Mom's up to, but there she is. She was waiting this whole time. They laughed at me. The worst thing that can happen, people laughing at you. When he put it in me. He promised. Okay, so she's going on this soliloquy about premarital sex being bad. And a rapish tendency here. Oh, come on. Why do you have to throw Roadhouse under the bus? So the premarital sex made Carrie, and that's why she's evil. And yeah, I mean, it's sound logic, right? Is the mom really the bad guy here? This is the knife held upside down stab. It's not something you see a lot. What did Psycho do this first? It's a slasher movie thing, definitely, right? Now, if you're attacking somebody with a knife, what do you go about it this way, or do you go knife side up like you're holding a sword? You thinking the mom's the evil one here, but this is the gal who just killed a shitload of kids. The mom's doing the work the cops wouldn't get to, right? Whoop! Telekinesis, powers in effect. Damn, mom can take a stabbing. Well, you don't have to keep sitting in the corner. I mean, you kind of pinned her to the wall here. And we pull back, and I think she has that kind of Jesus crucified type pose. That's definitely the imagery we're trying to evoke here. As you saw previously, Carrie had that little shrine she was sitting at, and then you had the Jesus. I think didn't he have a bunch of knives in him in the robot chicken's worst puppet yet? And I am out of surge. Well timed, I suppose. I think that's how we're about to conclude this movie. And now the regret. And now the house comes crashing down. That much I'm not really sure why. It's a dandy looking effect, I'll tell you. Of course, today would all be CGI. Everything has to be CGI. That's the way it goes. If it's not CGI, people aren't going to know it's a big budget movie. You could have left from the front door. I mean, that's one way to leave, but no, go ahead and hide in your uh, timeout room, crawl space. The house then sinks to hell, in a sense. It doesn't look like a miniature. Oh, there's the Jesus figure with arrows all over him. Which that's not really my understanding of how that went down. Plus, is it supposed to be Jesus? It's not even a cross, you know. Oh, I had the worst dream. I got kicked out of prom. One more reporter. What would the reporters want to ask her about? She's young enough, she'll forget about it. I'll, yeah, you're a senior in high school and you're forgetting about your school getting burned down with all your friends in it. Yeah, you know. Yeah, that's how that works. You could see a car there in the distance going backwards as she approaches. Kind of a dreamlike state here. Must have had her walking backwards out of this. Where the car could have been going backwards. Carrie White burns inhaled. It was eats shit. Of course, no one would put the for sale sign in the middle of the lot. It would be by the curb where people would see it as they drive by. It was daytime. Now we see a black backdrop against the for sale sign. Definitely dream stuff here, eh? Come on, why the flowers necessarily? I mean, this was the girl that killed everybody. Oh, you can see those silver fillings. I've never had a cavity, guys. I don't know how they try to justify when you see the silver fillings in somebody and they're playing like a caveman. I mean, come on. There you go. That's Carrie. I guess we'll leave it at that. You can sit and see if it says anything about animals being harmed at the end of the film or not. Well, it's only one more minute. You got to remember, this is before Marvel's credit inflation bullshit. So, hey, why not? Cameron De Palma, boy on bicycle. Oh, that's our little stunt boy, huh? The guy who falls down. Red text scrolling up. Oh, they phone it in so much these days, don't they? Who came up with the white text on black scroll that are in so many films, you know? This is your shot to make an impression with people, and you're just going to go with average titles. You know, that's something for you filmmakers to think about. Lab processing, I have motion picture. I don't see anything about no animals being harmed. That'll do it. See you guys next time.